Coming up next on Louisville Tonight, I'm Kirby's mom, Sam.
And I'm Bob's mom, Sari. And you'll also meet Stefan's, Roseanne's, and Jane's mothers.
Find out how our kids turned out the way they did. Coming up next.
Tonight on Louisville Tonight Live.
You've seen our Thanks Mom makeovers, but our tribute to Mom isn't over yet.
All right, we'll admit it. We couldn't let the week go by without introducing you to
Bob's mom, Sari.
Kirby's mom, Sam.
Roseanne's mom, Judy.
Stefan's mom, Jean.
And Jane's mom, Margaret.
Check out the women who made us who we are today.
Yay.
Yay. All right. Well, welcome to the show. I'm Bob Sokola.
And I'm Kirby Adams, and we have a very special Mother's Day show for you tonight.
That's right. We've got a special story on each of our moms, beginning with Kirby's.
Now, my two brothers and my sister and I would all agree that we have an incredible mom. She's into everything. And so I thought I'd have no problem coming up with a story to do on her. After all, back in Barrington, Illinois, she's the executive director of the Conservation Society.
No, wait. My mom's doing a story on plants.
Well, okay then. My mom plays the flute, and she's been playing the piano since she was 4.
Wait. Roseanne's mom is doing a music-related story.
Well, she's also active with the American Heart Association and hospice, but I wanted to do something with her that was just plain fun. And so we went shopping.
I imagine it wasn't your normal shopping trip, was it?
No.
Isn't that something?
It is something. You look great.
Oh, yeah, look at this.
Wow.
Lovely.
This is my mom, Sam, and when she comes to Louisville from Chicago, this is where she likes to shop. Discoveries on Bardstown Road.
I like ethnic design. I have many things like this in our home. This is old pieces. Pieces like this add so much to a home because, everything here has been made by hand, and nothing is just exactly like another piece.
Donna Stone owns Discoveries.
The thing I was wondering about, when you go, for instance, to Thailand, then how do you know where to go when you get there?
Well, there are buyer's guides. You're told to go to the night market.
Well, Mom and I visited with Donna. An African trader stopped by, selling, among other things, a shield made of hippo hide.
Well, you would see why that would be a good strong one.
Yes, very strong.
The other thing I have always enjoyed is that each piece has a story. And I always feel that I learned something about the culture of the country from this piece, and I sometimes imagine that I know something about the person who made the piece. Kirby has grown up with all of this kind of thing. One of the very first pieces we ever got from any other country in the world was when we went to the World's Fair, when you were very small, and we got the little hen and chickens.
Oh, yes.
And since then, we've had hens and chickens from all over the world. The other thing I like is the fact that these kinds of shops like Discovery offer the opportunity for those of us who live here to enjoy these things from other countries.
It takes courage. People come in and they're a little tentative and they pause. And I think if I would wear more clothes like your mother, I would sell much more.
You think this is what she's talking about? Nah, for my mom, this one's more like it.
No bad hair days. The faces improve too, I think.
Now, not only did I grow up surrounded by all the treasures that my mother collected from around the world, but we also had students from all over the world live with us year after year.
Well, we did have students from Guatemala and Switzerland and Japan and Turkey and Denmark and Thailand, to name a few.
Which was great. I especially liked the Swiss skier that lived with us.
I knew you'd like him.
Now, you said that you thought that Discoveries really had some good prices because you have shopped all over the world.
Well, a lot of places, and they're very fair. Very fair prices and wonderful things.
I like that.
And just to be there yesterday with the trader was so exciting.
That was neat. Yeah, he was from Africa.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, right now it's time for another mom, and we throw it back to Bob.
The Swiss skier, I love it. All right, Roseanne says her mom, Judy, is her best friend. Now, some of their favorite things to do include shopping, dining out, and going to the ballet. But when Roseanne was a teenager, she and her mom used to go to concerts together, and they still do. In fact, Roseanne's mom has probably been to more concerts than the average teenager.
Journey, Aerosmith, Kicks, U2, Van Halen, Loverboy, Rick Springfield, Night Ranger, Huey Lewis and the News. That's all I can remember.
Yes,
Plus, my mom, Judy Rogers, a preschool and kindergarten teacher at Fort Knox, is a concert veteran. It all started when I was a teenager. She wouldn't let me go to concerts without an adult.
And rather than staying at home and worrying until you got home, I felt like it was a good trade-off for me to take you and to bring you back, and then I wouldn't have to worry about how you got there and if you returned safely.
I could deal with my mom going to concerts as long as I didn't have to sit with her.
You were all standing by the stage, and then I sat over in the bleachers because I thought that would be a nice, safe place to sit. And that was where the wildest group was sitting. People were falling down the stairs.
Sorry, Mom, but when you're a teenager, it isn't cool to sit with your mother.
Went to Van Halen. I sat right beside the stage where the speakers were, but luckily I had my earplugs in, so that was all right.
My mom got the chance to see a variety of musical acts. In fact, she got to see some not once, but twice. Recently, Van Halen was at Lexington's Rupp Arena, and for old time's sake, we went to the concert. But this time, Judy would get a chance to go backstage and meet Eddie Van Halen.
Well, you look older and she looks younger.
From that moment on, I knew Eddie and my mom were going to get along just fine.
So I've been to 2 of your other concerts.
Really?
And I've seen all your hairstyles.
So you didn't drive her and drop
Isn't
her
it
off?
just like a mother to bring up hairstyles?
I had to meet you.
I have a feeling my mom's third Van Halen concert is one she'll never forget.
He was really nice. He didn't rush us in or rush us out. He took his time, and I was really flattered, and I really felt touched that he would take time to talk to me.
That's great. And we understand that Judy did get Roseanne back for all those concerts she had to go to. When she was just about 16, Judy took Roseanne to see Barry Manilow. Roseanne says now that she's older, she can appreciate his music, but back then, she'd never admit it. All right, forget centerfolds. These days, the guys women dream about are fully clothed in brown. Monday, why women across the nation agree the sexiest men alive work for UPS. But coming up next, move over, Fred Wishy. Sari's got a green thumb, too. We're gardening with my mom next.
Horseback riding,
Bike riding.
inline skating.
But what happens when you take these sports to the limit?
The closer you come to death, the bigger the adrenaline buzz.
Get in touch with my feminine side.
Beginning Tuesday, we'll meet athletes who take everyday sports to the limit.
You'll find no blood yet.
That's To the Limit beginning next week on Louisville Tonight Live.
And that's going to be a great series because we're highlighting people from Kentuckiana who do sports that you and I would do.
Well, you would do.
No, you do them too.
Yeah, okay.
But they do them way over the edge. They're really into it. So we have a rower, we have a female polo player, and a female mountain biker who has a national title.
And that's all next week, right?
Yep,
Good.
Adrenaline Junkies.
Looking
All right,
forward.
up now, a woman I have grown to know and to love, Bob's mom, Sari.
Now, Curb, you know my family is all originally from New York
wrote
City.
that?
I did. I wrote that for you. But you have learned to love her, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
All right, now, my family's all from New York City, and that's tough enough.
I imagine it is.
It really is. But my big shot brother.
Weren't you going to call him your big mouth brother?
Big shot and big mouth brother, who's now a judge in New York.
Sorry, I said that.
Yeah, be careful. He'll find you. And it really is tough enough and it would give any mother and father headaches. Still, I got to tell you, we survived. And thanks mostly to my mom, we grew up with a fascination for nature and the world around us.
Oh, this is an ivy geranium. Look at the color in this.
I took my mom, Sari, to one of the great nurseries in Kentuckiana.
Take a look at this. Oh, the color is wonderful. This is beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at these.
This is Country Corner Greenhouse in Shepherdsville on 44.
Oh, these are extraordinary. These are dahlias.
I would say my mom was impressed.
This is a hydrangea, but it's a different one. It's a lace cap hydrangea. This inside is the lace. This is one of the best nurseries I've ever been to. The plan was to plant a couple of flowers at Robert's house. Oh, look at this. I don't even know what this is.
But where do you start?
Ted, how many varieties do you have, selections of different plants here?
We don't even know ourselves. We haven't counted them up.
We settled on some beautiful New Guinea impatiens and some pink petunias. Okay, let's go, Rob. We've got to do a little planting.
Yes, Mom.
Back at the house, we got to work.
Okay, we have to place these so we know just where they're going to go.
All
All right.
When you put them this way, it gives you an idea to see how they're going to look once you plant them. And if you don't like the way they look, you can always move them before you actually dig them into the soil.
Now, you gotta understand that my mom says there's an important way to plant plants properly.
All right, so now what's the procedure?
Well, the first thing is to dig a hole twice the size of the plant.
Twice the size.
Twice the size at least.
How deep?
As deep as the rim as the pot is. You're going to fill it with a mixture of perlite. You're going to mix it with the sphagnum peat moss and a little of fresh topsoil.
As for fertilizer,
After about a week to 10 days, you can then give it a little boost with this Peter's Blossom Booster plant food. This is the magic number, 30. That's what will. You can use 30 or 50 as the magic number, and that will shoot it right up.
Going right up, and they look great to this day. I just want to show everybody, you did wash the dirt off your fingers.
I did, yes.
And I apologize, we made my mom do the story. Normally you would wear gloves,
Exactly.
and it was my fault, so I take full blame for this. Now, I got to ask you, we grew up in New York. Where did you learn all the gardening tricks that you showed me and the kids?
Well, when we bought a house upstate New York, I became interested in gardening. I used to visit all the nurseries. I joined the Cooperative Extension, which is a great thing to learn about plants. And I just love it. When you see something come to life in the soil, it's marvelous.
She really does have a green thumb like no one I have ever seen before. And there's something else that I think we need to share, that in addition to loving to plant, you also love bargain shopping, right?
That's my second love.
Is it really?
It really is. Finding something I know is much more in Saks Fifth or one of the other department stores.
At a good deal.
Fantastic.
So maybe next year?
I'll take you bargain shopping.
All right, that's a good idea. That's a deal. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
Kirby, back over to you.
I'm with you, Sari. I love a good deal. Well, Milwaukee, Wisconsin has many claims to fame, like beer capital of the country and birthplace of our own Stephen Reynolds. Okay, so maybe the average Milwaukeean might not claim Stephen, but his mom Jean does. And she and husband George got a chance to visit their son in his new home state.
My mom. And 5 other kids' mom, too. But now we're all grown up, and Mom has more time to do other stuff she loves. My mom loves to golf, and her favorite golfer is Fuzzy Zeller. So what better way to make Mom's day than a round of golf at the course Fuzzy built? A round of golf at the course Fuzzy built with her son, of course.
Oh, I love him. He's so laid back. He's so much fun.
Oh, Mom. So what kind of golfer is that son of yours?
The jury's still out on that one. Can't have everything, you know?
I should have quit while I was ahead, which would have been before we got started, because Mom was smoking me right off that first tee. Dad wasn't doing so bad either.
Come on, Dad. It's not Father's Day, it's Mother's Day. What are you doing?
Well, one thing was for sure, it wasn't Son's Day. But I did finally get a hold of one.
Oh, yeah. That looks good.
The kid's luck has changed.
Oh, wow. Slice. It doesn't look so good.
What the?
Oh! Hey!
I guess it's just your day.
I think so.
Nice shot.
Must be Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Mother's Day. We would tell you how the Mother's Day match turned out, but I'm afraid Stephen is the only one with that information. And he's been kind of quiet since that golf outing. I wonder why. Well, as we go to break, let's introduce you to our final 3 runners-up in our Thanks Mom Makeover Contest. Mary Buckley writes, like most mothers, mine has brought me a sense of security and warmth throughout the years. There's no gift imaginable that could show how much I love and thank her for all the selfless time she's worked for us. When Tanya Dean Levine was 15, her mother gave her a black onyx ring for Christmas. Years later, Tanya's mother confessed that she pawned her own wedding rings to buy the ring. Tanya says, I'm sure many people have good moms, but to me, my mom is the best. I'm very blessed to have her love. Julie Eds remembers how her mother Barbara struggled as a single parent and wrote us, her mother juggled between a full-time student, raising a daughter, and working in restaurants at night to pay for it all. I'm grateful to my mother. I owe her everything and more.
Jane McClue believes her mother is here in spirit.
Margaret McClue died in 1977, and Jane says her mother's death taught her a difficult but important lesson.
This is my mother, Margaret McClue. Like me, she was one of 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. From my mother, I got my good grammar habits. I inherited her brown eyes and rounded cheeks. And from my mother, I would also inherit an increased chance of developing breast cancer, the thing that took her life. But this story isn't about breast cancer. It's about something far more of us face, the death of a parent.
Our parents are almost godlike, especially when we're very little, and that reliance and dependence on them being there, on that stability, is an important part of the security you feel in growing up.
Dr. Brian Carter is a psychologist. He says being completely prepared for the death of a parent is impossible.
You know, I think the best preparation is a good relationship. You've had that chance to have the relationship, to say the things you want to say, to have them share the things with you that you may want to hear.
Since my mother's death, I've turned to a lot of things for answers. A common resource, books.
The books can help them get some more information, and it can help them realize that other people have gone through the same thing they're going through, that they're not alone.
The best sources are found in psychology, self-help, and death and dying sections of bookstores. Holly Cook recommends Good Grief.
Portraying grief is something that can be useful as opposed to something just to be avoided.
When bad things happen to good people, and motherless daughters.
It deals specifically with women who lose their mothers and the effect that has on them, and the fact that that effect carries through the rest of their lives.
I lost my mother more than half my life ago, but at times I still grieve. She died long before any of her grandchildren were born, and of course that makes me sad. But their bright-eyed smiles are proof that life goes on, and with it, the memory of my mother.
And tonight, Jane is happy to be with a group of friends who helped her through her mother's illness and death.
Her reunion of former classmates happens to coincide with Mother's Day weekend.
And as we go to a break, let's take a look at last night's winning Kentucky lottery numbers.
For more information on any of the stories you saw in tonight's show,
just call the Louisville Tonight Live line.
That's 571-LIVE.
Hi, everybody. This is Kirby Adams.
And I'm Bob Sokoler. Thanks for calling the Louisville Tonight Live line.
And our Mother's Day special is about to wrap up.
We want to thank you both for coming down to visit and to be on our show tonight.
All the way from Chicago and Orlando.
And New York, actually.
And New York.
They're bi-coastal, as my mother likes.
Great mothers, huh?
Had a good time.
All right, I have to ask you one question, Sari. Did Bob really read Moby Dick when he was 7 years old?
I think he was 6 and a half.
Oh, what was it? The picture version?
No, all words.
What did I do? Anything?
What you did wonderful things, yes.
Thank you, Mom.
But listen, ladies, we want to present these to you and thank you once again.
Oh,
the peonies? No, those are peonies.
These are peonies.
I didn't learn anything from my mother.
Oh, it's beautiful.
They're
It's one of my
lovely. Thank
favorite flowers.
Have a great Mother's Day, and we hope all of you have a wonderful Mother's Day, too.
And as we leave you tonight, we have a surprise for you, ladies.
Special surprise.
Before the show actually started, we were testing the ladies and having them try to read the intro.
Here it is.
You better be careful when they threaten both of you.
Yeah, big threat.
Your jobs may be in this. My husband had a suggestion.
Oh, what did he say?
When I'm done talking, you're going to talk again, so I look at you.
Okay,
So
then I'll look at
I
you.
have a suggestion that when you finish talking at the beginning, you look at
I'll
me
look
for a
at you.
minute and then
Okay,
go back to
all right. So, because we don't have to be looking at each other's words, right? Because otherwise it just looks like we're desperate for the next words. Yeah. Right.